Tell your customers what to do, how to do it, and to do it now. I'm Nick McLean. I'm the founder of TGB, Team Growth Brokerage, the only team-centric brokerage in North America. And I created my team in 2011 on the premise of direct response marketing. I entered my marketplace and nobody knew who I was. In fact, we sold 101 homes our very first year. 0 referral business, 0 sphere of influence business, 0 acknowledgement or influence or top of mind awareness. We built it 100% on this core principle. This core principle will serve you in your marketplace because you need to be able to make money now. You need to be able to generate leads and business for your team and your agents right now. You can't rely on networking, sphere of influence, top of mind awareness. It's not a predictable source of business. If you have a methodology in marketing, in your sales approach that works every single time to a certain degree, then it's just a matter of how many times would you do it, right? If I could tell you that you could convert 10% of your traffic to a lead and 10% of your appointments to closings, how many times would you do it if every time you had a closing you made $10,000? As many times as you could. So I want to give you this quick, easy framework. When I'm doing advertising, I want to tell the people, right to the audience, a stadium pitch. I'm going to tell them immediately what to do. Whether that's buy a home, list your home, whether that's find out what your home is worth, search online for homes. I'm going to tell them how to do it. How do you find out what your home's worth? Well, you can go to this website, enter your address, 123 Main Street, New York, Scottsdale, Arizona, hit the enter button. Once you hit the enter button, you're going to see this screen that's going to populate a computerized valuation, or tell them what to do. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to dial this number, 509-555-1212. Like, you give very detailed instructions. So you tell them what to do. You give very detailed instructions. And then you immediately tell them to do it now. Get away from platitudes. Platitudes roll off the consumer's mind like water off a duck's back. Platitudes are anything that's vague. If you're thinking about buying, selling, renting, if you're this, that, or the other, if you're searching for any vague platitudes, just roll off the consumer's mind. If you're listening to radio, if you're scrolling online, they just continue to scroll. You have to really cut through. Buy now is a great headline, right? Make low offers today on homes. I think in a marketplace where buyers aren't making offers, I would go the inverse and say, make the lowest offer possible. See, agents are not trained to teach their buyers to make low offers because, frankly, they don't work out. But in a marketplace where no offers are happening, you might want to say something like that. And then you would detail specifically step by step on how to make an offer, or how to make a low offer, or how to get a value of your home, how to price your home to the top of the market and actually get it sold in a time frame that you want and beat out all of the competition. And then you tell them to do it now. It's really important. Now, the way you market something, marketing and advertising, needs to be communicated with the people that are actually selling the product or service. So the sales and marketing team, and that's usually you, needs to communicate, even if you're outsourcing that duty, needs to communicate that message and advertising to the people actually getting the lead, answering the phone, in the field, showing property, going and listing. So this is a major disconnect I see with team leaders across North America, is they outsource their marketing and they don't even know what that marketing says. In your next team meeting, I would show them every source of advertising that you have in the marketplace so they understand what the consumer is consuming in your advertising. If they actually clicked a link and went to your website, what was that journey like, and what was the offer, and was it compelling, and what were the promises? And then you get your team to go on there and tailor their scripts, their verbiage, their dialogue around that, and then use the exact same framework I gave you in the advertising, which is this. Pick up the phone, answer the phone. So pick up the phone, call. Tell them what to do. Tell them how to do it, and then tell them to do it now. If a phone call comes in, tell them what to do. Tell them how to do it, and then tell them to do it now. So it's very simple. But people screw this up all across America. I've trained thousands of teams, and I've listened to tens of thousands of phone calls. If a buyer calls in on their phone system and they want to look at a home, they may say something like, I would like to go look at this home. And the agent on the other end of the phone, if they're not trained, will say something as foolish as, they might even answer the phone and say something as foolish as, hi, this is Nick. How can I help you? Well, I was hoping to go look at this home. Awesome. You want to go look at that home. And this is where the rubber meets the road. It's really a divergence. Either you're going to take that lead, that opportunity down the path of telling them what to do, telling them how to do it, and telling them to do it now, or you're going to divert to rapport building, getting to know them, right? Asking questions. And both paths are completely different in the probability of them landing an appointment. And Zillow figured this out too after listening to hundreds of thousands of phone calls, if not 1 million phone calls. They found that agents just didn't tell the people what to do. And that is, if they're calling to look at a home and they want to look at a home, give them what they want and tell them what to do, which is set an appointment, schedule a date and time to go look at that house on the phone right now. In fact, the tried and true structure of a call is LP Mama, location, price, motivation, agent, mortgage, appointment. But Zillow realized training agents on LP Mama didn't work on their leads because the lead was asking for the appointment. So what did they do? They took the A at the bottom of the script, because half the time the agent never even got to the bottom of the script, and moved it to the top and said, you know what? It's nice to ask them about location, price, motivation, agent, mortgage, but only if you get to an appointment. So how about this? These people want an appointment, so let's take the A up top. And so we're going to grade you on this. Within the first 30 seconds or a minute, you have to ask for the appointment. Tell them what to do. And that's what I mean by telling them what to do, is like being very specific and clear with your sales team. What do you want them to do? Right? And as a salesperson, I need to meet them face to face. Let's meet. Answer the phone. Ring, ring, ring. Hi, this is Nick. How can I help you? I'd like to go see 123 Main Street. Awesome. Let's meet and I'll show you that home. It's that simple. Now, I then go into how do we do it? So this is how it works. At our office, we have this program for people calling in on homes. I call it a buyer's advantage program. So if I know your areas of interest, your price range, and your style of home, I can show you that home you're calling on. In fact, I'm going to schedule that appointment with the listing agent at a date and a time that works for you, that beats out the competition, that gets you in the door before other people, so that you can make an informed, quality decision on that home to make an offer or to not make an offer. Listen to me on the phone. Like I'm talking about making offers I haven't even met yet. Versus how motivated are you? How long are you looking? What's your price range? This is exactly what I'm going to do. As soon as I get that appointment, I'm going to confirm that appointment with you. I'm going to show you that appointment. I'm going to show you that home. And also, I'm going to find other homes that may meet or exceed your criteria, just in case there's something better out there that I can find that benefits you and your situation, your goals. At the end of the showings, I'm going to ask you which one meets or exceeds your criteria or is the best fit. And if one of them is the best fit and you do want to move forward, I'm going to ask you to make an offer. But before, I'm not just going to ask you to make an offer. If you say yes to making an offer, I'm going to then explain to you how that offer works and the greatest probability or the best way or the highest strategy to make an offer so that you can get the best deal at the lowest price and the terms that work for you. Because at the end of the day, I want to get you the best price. That's a very wordy thing to do. And then I'm going to always ask you to do it now. Because I know the best deals sell the fastest, the best homes sell the fastest, and time kills deals. So oftentimes clients, they drag their feet, they miss out, or they don't get the best opportunity. So if you want to make an offer less than full price, or an offer that is a very great deal in your favor, you know you do need a strike. There's never any obligation to make an offer. There's never any risk to make an offer. There's no total commitment to do that. You don't pay us a thing unless you get a desired result. And so I'm just kind of giving you terminology and language patterns that you would use with your sales team to train them on what to say over the phone. And then you can get into location, price, motivation, right? Notice how I tell them what to do. We're going to go look at it. This is how we're going to look at it. And then I'm going to tell them to do it now. Now, over the phone, I can't tell them to do it now in terms of making an offer, but you can see how I was future pacing that. At the showing, I'm going to tell them to do it now, if they choose to do it, right? If they choose to do it, I'm going to tell them to do it now because time kills deals. The same thing with listings. Hey, I'm curious to find out what my home's worth, or I would like to know what your services are like. We're thinking about selling our house. Awesome. When can I meet and look at your house? What's the address? Great. Let's set that up right now. I'll put it in the calendar, and then I'm going to come over to your house on Thursday at 4. When I come over to your house, this is what you should expect. This is exactly what I'm going to do before I come over. This is what I'm going to do during the appointment, and this is what I'm going to do at the very end of the appointment. Guess what? I'm going to ask you if you want to put it on the market, if the price is right, if it makes sense, if it gets you to where you want to go next. There's never any obligation to sign a listing agreement. However, I'm going to show up prepared. You see how that works? And if you just constantly train your agents on this process, it works. Now, when they go to the appointment, I'm going to train my agents on the appointment. I'm going to tell them what to do at the appointment. Here's where I'm going to direct the showing. We're going to start here. We're going to go here. We're going to look at this. And then we're going to look at 3 properties today. At the end of each property, we're going to eliminate a property. And then we're going to meet at the kitchen at the end, and we're going to review and figure out whether or not we want to keep this house on the list or strike it off of the list. When I show up at the listing, I'm going to tell them exactly what I'm planning to do at the listing appointment. I'm going to plan to review the sales with you. Before I review the sales with you that I've brought to your house, I'm going to go over our marketing plan if you did decide to list your home. See, a lot of times they go to the listing appointment and they just want to wing it. And it's like they forget to do the listing presentation because they didn't really preface to the seller that they're going to do that. And it feels a little awkward just to pull out a presentation. Like, tell them in advance, I'm going to come over to your house. I'm going to show you our listing presentation, which basically outlines all of our marketing and our approach and strategies to sell your home for the most money. At the end of that presentation, we're going to review numbers. We're going to uncover your goals and define your goals. And we're going to see if the numbers in your goals make sense. And you're going to understand how we get there or how we execute on that if the numbers and the goals make sense. And at the end, if they all align, I'm prepared with paperwork to show you the paperwork, to go over the paperwork, to fill out the paperwork, to execute, and then go back and decide on a date to put it on the market. So it's this constant process of telling people what to do, telling them how to do it, and then telling them to do it now. Now, if the fact of the matter is you tell them what to do, you tell them how to do it, and they don't want to do it, then you give them the other option. The other option is what to do in the case you don't want to. So if I'm showing them a home and I tell them to make an offer and how to make an offer, and I tell them to do it now, and they're like, I don't want to make an offer. Great, awesome, this is what we're going to do next. Right? We're going to immediately schedule another appointment to look at more homes. And we're going to do this process over and over again. If I go to a listing presentation, I tell them that I want to list their home. I'm going to go over the numbers. I tell them how we're going to do it, how we're going to put the home on the marketplace. And they're like, no, I don't like the numbers. I don't like your process. Like, I'm not ready. No problem. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet in 30 days. We're going to meet in 60 days. We're going to meet in 90 days. We're going to revisit this on a monthly or quarterly basis as the numbers change, as the markets change, as your goals change. And at some point in the future, I don't know when, you're going to list your home. So you can get into the follow-up process, but not until you've really gone after the most important next step to move the ball forward in sales. And so this fundamental principle and process will outline your procedures and how you train. It will massively change your conversion rates, it'll change your culture, and it'll change your overall sales. I'm Nate McLean. I'm the founder of Team Growth Brokerage, the first team-centric brokerage in all of North America. And as we're shooting this video now in 2026 May, we have a event launched. We're in phase 1, 10 teams in 10 states, and we're actively pursuing these states and filling out all the paperwork. If you want to be part of the team growth movement, find us online at teamgrowthbrokerage.com. That's www.teamgrowthbrokerage.com, and learn about the brokerage as a service. This total restructuring of how brokerages serve the teams and how it totally changes how teamrages operate their businesses. See, a teamrage is a team and a brokerage combined. We essentially decouple that because a team doesn't necessarily have to be the brokerage unless they really wanted to. And let's face it, why do you have a broker? Because you have to. But the problem with brokers is they have all these rules and regulations and fee structures that don't work with teams. And so we created a fee structure plan that works for teams at any scale: starter, small, medium, mega, enterprise, multiple states. And we've done it and we've solved it for it. And the people that we work with in our network are only team leaders and operators and former indie brokerages. The highest level, the creme de la creme, right? The 1% operators. So you no longer are part of a club that also includes every agent. And let's face it, there's 1.5 million agents. 70% of them in 2025 failed to sell a home. Those aren't the people that you necessarily want to associate yourself with. Indie brokers, teams, teamrages, they want to associate themselves with other performers, other elite operators, other business owners. So the level of conversations we have on a daily, weekly, monthly basis are about building the business. It's about working on the business. It's not about being in the business and trying to figure out how to sell your next home and how you're going to pay your bills. No, team leaders are way beyond that. Team leaders at the highest level have completely replaced their brokerage in terms of the brokerage services that they think they need, which is marketing and signs and branding and Canva and CRMs that they don't use and websites they don't use because they replace themselves with the enterprise growth platforms. And so it's time to upgrade your brokerage to the brokerage that was built for you. So check it out at teamgrowthbrokerage.com.